welcome to a new video. This is the second time I'm filming an intro for what I thought was going to be this video that you're watching, but we've had quite a plot twist in what I thought was going to be this video and what is going on today. So this is me just trying to figure it out. You're like, what the heck are you talking about, Sheila? So this video originally was going to be me building a new bookcase, and we started filming, and then once I got all the parts out and started assembling it together, I quickly realized I'm missing 2 parts of the bookcase. There was 12 pieces altogether. I could only count 10, and there was 2 H parts, like shelving parts, that I could not find, and I just kept standing there thinking, am I like not seeing these? Did they disappear? Are they under my bed? Like, what happened? What's going on here? Because the whole package was completely stuffed with parts. Like, I had to like rip the box to like even get the parts like out of the box. And then George came in and he like double checked and he's like, yeah, you're missing these parts. And I'm like, well, there goes any kind of bookcase assembly for today, because I'm gonna have to call the customer service line and ask for replacement parts. At least they do have that service, and hopefully they can send me the 2 shelving parts, but they're not open till Monday. It is Saturday. Out the window, completely out the window, and I've been trying to just figure out how to move forward, being neurodivergent. Hello, you know, I had to kind of sit and process this. I've been processing this for like over an hour now, and just not sure even how to like move forward. Like, I felt just very frozen when things don't go the way I plan and take a total 180. And if it's not like necessarily good, swift change, like I'm all for being a little spontaneous and kind of shifting plans if they feel better in that moment. Like if my energy is low and I end up not wanting to go do something, sure, I'll stay home and that's fun and dandy for me. I'm an introvert as well. But this, I was just so excited, so focused to get this done and film it. That's like all I could think about all week. And now I'm just like, how do I move forward? Like I said, I was ranting on Instagram and trying to kind of just figure out what to do next. And my options were I can either completely just trash this entire vlog and just wait to continue filming like once the parts come in, or I can keep the early footage, like the footage you guys just saw of me going to the coffee shop, and then just save the bookcase footage for my separate bookcase assembly vlog that I will eventually finish later. That'll be my next video after this, hopefully, and just kind of turn my day around. So that's what we're doing, friends. Hello. It is lunchtime. I just made myself some pizza, just some frozen, gluten-free, and vegan Daya pizza. And we're gonna have lunch. I'm watching some YouTube to help me feel better and just help me just kind of figure out what we're gonna do later today. So I'm sure at the end of this video, everything will make sense. I'll have, you know, a theme, a purpose, a message to share with you guys. But right now I'm just like figuring it out, not really sure. And I figured show you guys this process of me processing things when things don't go my way. So thank you for being here, friends, and let's continue with the vlog. I don't know what we're gonna be doing, but I'm gonna eat pizza right now. Yum, yum, yum. Yum.
Like, some people are gonna be like really grossed out by this, and I am.
Alright, the floor has been cleaned, Landon's jacket is cleaned, do a vacuum. But I basically want to vacuum and sweep.
So George and I are gonna head out to the mall, actually. This was actually planned. So we are doing something that I knew was going to be happening today, but I was not planning to film this or vlog it at all. So that's definitely a change of plans. But since we're trying to figure out what we want this video to be, I had the idea come to me to try and just romanticize the rest of my day and my weekend, and trying to find pockets of joy in this brutally cold winter that we are experiencing, at least here where I am in southeastern Pennsylvania. But I also know it's been really cold and like snowing in the south when it hasn't really snowed in a long time, where I've been seeing mentions of that. So if you are in the south and you've gotten snow, let me know, or just like how you guys are doing with winter, if it is winter there, like with the cold. Like the past 2 weeks have been just freezing, low wind chills, and every day is just like I just hunker down, go to work, come home, and that's kind of a winter cycle that I'm just so used to and crave. I mean, winter is our hibernation era, friends. It is our time to rest, especially after the holidays and the new year and all the chaos that has already happened so far this year. Just finding some quiet, some peace, some internal peace is very, very important. Putting that message out there. So one way that I decided to find joy this morning is going and getting a latte. I've already drank all of this, but I haven't thrown the cup out. So I was like, oh, let me like mention this, because originally I wasn't gonna do any of this in this video. We don't really have any local coffee shops immediately near us where I live, beyond like a Starbucks or a Dunkin', and I haven't been going to Starbucks for over a year. And Dunkin' I'll go here and there if we're traveling, but I am really trying to just stick with local coffee shops, or just don't go out and get coffee. There's a locally owned grocery store about 10 minutes from us, and they have a coffee shop inside the grocery store, and I like knew it was there, but I never mustered up the courage to go try it. And my colleague gets coffee there all the time on his way into work, and I was like, okay, new year, new aspirations, new me, question mark, and I want to do more solo coffee dates this year. So I've been there a couple times already, and the one last Saturday I went in the morning, and the barista was just like, are you from around here? You know, just chatting with me. Come to find out, she said she's like the new manager there, and she was just super nice, super welcoming, and I'm just excited to like go back there to maybe run into her again and just have that experience. And then I also got George like a breakfast sandwich, and he really enjoyed that. So I think our like new Saturday-ish routine is me going there and getting coffee and maybe hanging out in the cafe and doing some journaling and reading, or just getting stuff to go and taking it home. So thoroughly enjoyed my hot caramel oat milk latte, and George got like a white mocha just with regular milk, and that's been bringing me a lot of joy this month and today. So much joy from little things like that. So I want to try and find more joy, find some more comfort and peace in the rest of my day. So we're going to the mall because George needs to find a blazer. He has a work party next week, and he didn't have like a holiday work party. And maybe that's like a thing a lot of places do, where they end up having their parties like after Christmas, because I mean, it's a smart move, I feel like, because there's so much going on in December. The likelihood of us going to a work party if it was in December, low, or I just would have been way more exhausted. So they have it at the end of January, and it's cocktail attire, and George doesn't really have any cocktail attire, so we need to go find him like a sport coat or a blazer jacket situation. So we're gonna go do that and walk around the mall a little bit, maybe go to the record shop and just have a little mall moment, which I think will be good for us, because also George normally works all day on Saturdays, but today he got off early because he's going to a guy's thing tonight, like a like a boxing event thing in the city. So he'll be leaving in a couple hours for that. So I'm just gonna enjoy some time with him shopping, and then it'll just be me tonight. Solo Sheila date. So I think I'm gonna try and do some cozy things this evening, and you guys will come along, obviously. But for now, we're gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna take you guys to the mall with me and just see see where it goes, see where the day takes us.
Watching you was such a thrill. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. We were running on that open shore. No saddle on his back.
Hello friends, it's the next day. This whole weekend's just been totally out of sorts, and let me know if you're just feeling out of sorts as well. I have been trying to find some kind of theme or purpose for this video, and even though I already kind of said yes, I'm gonna try and find joy in my weekend and romanticize a little bit, internally that isn't translating into my actual filming, and this is just all stuff in my head. I think it's important for me to show these parts of my life too, and I just kind of surrendered to the fact that this is just a casual vlog that doesn't really have a direct theme or direct value to deliver to you, but I still hope it gives you some kind of inspiration or motivation into your daily life. Yeah, so today it's early evening, mid-afternoon, the sun is still out. At least we have longer days happening now that it's winter, but I've been trying to do some weekly planning in my sterling ink, and I know a lot of you guys here are here for planning content. Again, with me having so many different interests and things that I film on my channel, it's again also hard to figure out video ideas when there's just so much going on in my head and so much that I could be sharing. So I wanted to include some planning bits since it's been a little while since you guys have seen a planning or goal setting video from me, or maybe it's not been a while at all. I'm still getting used to using my Sterling ink common planner, and I'm especially getting used to the large B5 size. I will confess that I think this is a little bit too big for me. I know, and I think next year, if I do still get a common planner, I'm gonna get a smaller size, maybe like the A6, like the cousin size. But I love the weekly spread the most for this size. It's just this one section here, like my weekly dashboard, that I love so much, and I've been very much utilizing that space. So I don't know, that's kind of where I'm at. But like the daily pages is where I'm struggling the most in terms of figuring out a layout that works and filling up my pages. But I feel like I have been utilizing it within the best of my abilities, within all things considered. But I just wish there was more like visuals to it, and that's when stickers would really come into play. I've pretty much used up the bulk of my winter-ish stickers, and I have some coming in the mail that I ordered on Etsy, and waiting for some Patreon mail that has stickers. I've been kind of using washi tape to substitute for that, but I still just want some cozy wintry stickers because that's the vibe. So I think once I get more stickers, it'll feel like put together. But I did want to like show you guys at least how my weekly spread is looking this week and how I'm using it, and it's been working well. Like the actual weekly section has been working well. I've been putting my like meal ideas or meal plan on this section over here, and then I have all this space here to kind of put in if there's an appointment, if there's something I need to do, even if a small to-do list. So it's working. I'm still just figuring things out. Would love to film like a weekly plan with me. That was my other idea. When the bookcase situation happened, I was like, oh, I can just make a weekly plan with me video and kind of go from there. But I ended up just trying to finish out the vlog, and here we are. So weekly planning is pretty much done. I made a grocery list. George and I have yet to go out for groceries because we've both been feeling under the weather with, again, the sinus headache situation that is going on with how dry and cold the air is outside. So we've been just chilling, taking it easy, and hopefully we'll feel a little bit better and can run out to get groceries later. And if not, we can go later this week. It's not the end all be all, but I do know I have lunch for tomorrow. Like that's as far as I've gotten with meal planning. So that's like weekly planning stuff. I wanted to also just briefly touch on books that I've read recently, because I've been doing a lot of reading this month, a lot of romanticy, and I finished reading all the romanticy books that I've sought out to read this month. So this week I read and finished reading 2 books. I read The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen, which is book 1 of the Bridge Kingdom series, and this was okay. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars because it was a very, very slow burn romance, but also the plot and the writing felt very slow to me and just hard for my attention span. I just felt like it was really hard for me to like grab my book to find out what happens next. This year I'm trying to hack my brain or hack my reading to like match my brain when I enter situations like this. So I've been reading a lot of like physical books, but also listening to the audiobook and also reading the ebook in between like everything. So that is how I was able to read like A Court of Thorns and Roses so quickly. I like that when a book is not holding my attention as much. I think having an audiobook version and an ebook version just helps me read it quicker. And I don't want to like promote fast reading, or like I don't want to like say like it's important to read books quickly. When I say that, I just want to give that disclaimer. Like for me though, if I like lose attention, if my attention kind of drifts from a book, it makes it harder for me to read it, and then I just prolong it, and then I get into a reading rut, and then I just don't read anything because I'm so stubborn that I have to just read one book. I know some people, if they're not interested in a book, they'll just start reading another book, and I am trying to get there. I don't know if that is going to work for me because I don't want to have like a million in progress books because it'll be so hard for me to finish them. So how I'm trying to hack that is having an audio version and an ebook version if they're available. But for The Bridge Kingdom, it wasn't available and I only had to read this book. So that's partially why my reading experience was not ideal or just felt difficult for me. The second book I read and finished this week, Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, book 2 of The Shepherd King, and the end of the duology. So I definitely enjoyed this more than The Bridge Kingdom, and I was listening to the audiobook, reading the ebook, and also reading this, and that allowed me to finish this in a couple of days, which definitely helped. I think if I was just reading the physical book, I would, one, still be reading this and having a little bit of a harder time reading it. Late last night, I was just feeling very lonely and like had watched way too much TV, and George was still out and wasn't gonna be home for a while, so I decided to listen to the audiobook. I had like 10% left of the book and was like, I could finish this tonight, but I just can't like read it, and I think my headache was contributing to that. So I listened to the audiobook and also read it along with the audiobook version, and it helped a lot. And then I finished reading it this morning on ebook and we finished it. So this is a young adult book, and that is my only qualm with the book in my experience. I still gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because I feel like for a YA book, this was great. And I felt like this was a great ending to the duology and the story, and I loved Elm and Ione's story. I don't want to give away too much, but the first book definitely felt like it focused more on the romance aspect of things, which, hello, it is a romantasy, but I felt like this book was way more fantasy heavy, which I really, really enjoyed, and I kind of wanted a little bit more romance in this book, if that gives you any idea of how this book was for me. But I really enjoyed it. I loved the magic system and just the world that Rachel Gillig created, and I feel like if this was a high fantasy like adult series, it would be amazing. I loved the tarot card element in the story with the 12 deck of cards and how it all wrapped into the plot. It was great. It was good. The writing was good. It could have been great. I do recommend this series and I did enjoy it. So now that I read 5 books, I've read 5 books so far this year. So I've read 5 books already this month, and I have one last week in January. January is such a long week, and we're leaving the romantasy era. I mean, I'll be back, but I want to read something for Lunar New Year. So Lunar New Year is next week. When you're watching this, we're in the thick of Lunar New Year, but yesterday, when you're watching this on Thursday, the day before was like the calendar year for Lunar New Year, but it's like a 2-week long celebration. So happy Lunar New Year if you celebrate. But I'm gonna start reading Red String Theory by Laura Kung Jessen next. I read her one book, Lunar Love, a couple years ago. I think 2 years ago I read that around the same time. And this is just a good intro to February because it's a romance. And I think it's just something that I need to kind of get me out of like dark fantasy and just have something that's a little bit lighthearted, low stakes, and romance is a good option for that. So I'm excited to start reading this. I'm gonna try and start reading it this evening and see like how I feel about it. All right, friends, I'm gonna end it here because the sun is going down. The indoor lights have been turned on, and once that happens, I'm just ready to crawl into my bed and shut off for the evening, for the day. And yeah, so I'm gonna go hopefully start reading Red String Theory. I've been editing this vlog also intermittently through all of this and working on the thumbnail. But since we've made it to the end of this video, I did want to plug, self-promote something. So you guys, if you're still watching this, I know you guys are like my hardcore watchers. Like, you guys are amazing. Thank you for watching until the end. So I wanted to let you know that why is this so hard? So I wanted to launch a Patreon for a while. I've mentioned it here and there on this channel and have let fear hold me back from doing it. So last week I bit the bullet and I started it. And it's not like an official launch by any means. I want to have a run of beta testing because that's just going to be the best way for me to figure this whole thing out without losing momentum or overthinking it or just kind of crawling into a hole and like not telling anyone about it, because it's hard for me right now to be self-promoting this, which is so stupid, but here we are. So I'm gonna put the link in the description. You can go check it out. I am planning to have a more thorough soft launch plan, like announcing it on my YouTube community post, putting it on my Instagram stories, like putting it to the public eye. But for now, this is a soft, super soft launch. So if you've made it to the end and you're interested in joining, it's just going to be $1 a month to be a beta tester. I don't know how long this is going to be. I have all the details over on the Patreon page, and I'm planning to create more promotional stuff around it. So if it doesn't feel like a good fit right now, totally understand. Do not feel obligated in any way to go over there and support me on there, but I am just craving having a Patreon and community, and I feel like I have the energy and the brain space and the capacity to do it. So we're starting it. There's already a couple posts on there already. I've been doing like a weekly photo diaries and sharing snippets of my life and thoughts, and just want to have you guys help me curate it to be the kind of cozy community space that you would want to be a part of. So go check it out. Feel free to subscribe, become a patron. I will appreciate you oh so much. And this is me getting over my fear. So yay. Okay, thank you friends for being here, and I will see you in the next one.